Now at 10, cold weather has meant big business for some area plumbers. Plus, Missouri touts record numbers for deer hunting season and how you might be able to save some money this tax season.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Finally climbed above freezing today, but how long will this warming trend last? This is KOAM News at 10. I'm Dow Quick. Let's turn it over to Chief Meteorologist Doug Hetty.
Well, sadly, not very long, but it was nice to get into the 30s for us today. We started at 11:36, still well shy of where we should be for this time of the year, but we're going to stay above freezing at least one more day. It's 30 right now. Joplin, also Pittsburgh, we had a nice little snow melt fest for us today. Upper 20s to 30, but we have those southerly winds kicking in. Makes it feel a little bit colder. It gives us that wind chill factor across the region. We're going to have to deal with that as well. Right now it feels like lower 20s across the board. We do have some clouds which are scooting through for us tonight, and we may get a few flurries, but watch this. Look at this. Here comes the Arctic air again. Plunges south by Friday and then sits right on top of us as we head into the weekend. We're going to have more details about this here in just a bit.
Catch you in a few. Some local plumbers have seen an increase in business during the cold temperatures recently. Some say their daily clients have doubled in the last week and a half. Others say their team has been working until bedtime every day. KOAM's Fernandez Silva has the story.
I've never wanted to do dishes so much in my life.
The motivation for Nancy Alexander's interesting desire is one.
When I got home from work Friday afternoon, I had no water.
Then she had to improvise.
My daughter lives in town, so I just took a 5-gallon jug to her house and filled up.
The reason is familiar to many 4 states residents.
That's one of the first questions that I asked her, if she left her faucets running, and she said she didn't.
According to the plumber, a running faucet could have prevented Alexandra's pipes from freezing. But after that happens, asking for professional help is essential.
If you go ahead and wait, it could go ahead and expand the pipe, and it'll go ahead and happen like what happened on this case. The pipe went ahead and expanded and it broke on the CPVC.
Levin Lopez says MVP Plumbing has been busy.
It's been hectic. It's been really hectic. I want to say it definitely has doubled within the last week and a half, especially due to water lines getting bursted due to the cold weather.
But they're not alone.
Pretty much stay scheduled pretty stacked tight. We try to fit in as many calls as we can as the day goes. Sometimes it carries into the next day, but we make sure that we try to get to every customer that calls us.
A busy season that comes with different kind of problems for these businesses.
It's definitely a good problem to have.
In Carthage, Fernanda Silva, KOAM News.
The plumbers recommend leaving the faucets dripping for as long as the temperatures are freezing. You can go to our website at KOAMnewsnow.com to learn other strategies that could help avoid frozen pipes. Residents of Fort Scott were invited to Fort Scott Community College to celebrate Martin Luther King Jr. Day a bit late. The event, which was supposed to take place on Monday, was delayed due to weather. Participants were encouraged to participate in a food drive for the community. Everyone who came was also treated to a free lunch, and then they were invited to listen to a musical performance.
It's important to help keep that history and legacy alive, and the hard work that Martin Luther King sacrificed to help to fight for freedom, champion social justice. So we want to honor that day, honor this day with that.
The college has hosted this event for 12 years. The reigning Miss Kansas here visited students in Arma, Kansas today. Courtney Wages is partnering with the Kansas Traffic Safety Resource Office for its SAFE campaign. Today, the campaign taught students at Northeast High School how they can protect themselves while on the road.
So personally, I talk about my platform, which is called One Vision is Not the Only Vision, advocating for vision awareness and blind and visually impaired communities, and how a car crash can result in a disability such as vision awareness and result in many other tragedies that we don't want to happen in Kansas.
The SAFE program stands for Seatbelts Are for Everyone. You're invited to a public meeting next week to discuss a plan to widen Joplin's West 20th Street. That meeting is going to be at Twin Hills Country Club Thursday, January 25th from 4 to 6 p.m. The city is in the preliminary phase of the project that would widen and improve 20th Street west of Schifferdecker Avenue. The city is specifically looking for input from property owners in that area. The deer hunting season that just ended in Missouri appears to be a record breaker. That's according to preliminary numbers anyway from the Missouri Department of Conservation. Missouri's 2023-24 deer hunting season ended on Monday. The department says in total, hunters killed more than 326,000 deer in the state. That beats the 2006 record by about 500. The MDC attributes the increase to a larger deer population and regulation changes that allowed more hunting permits. As tax season inches closer, credits for residential energy are available. The federal government is encouraging everyone to improve home energy by offering tax credits. Credit for improving home insulation ranges from $250 to $2,000. Credit applies only to improvements made during the year that's filed, meaning the work had to be done in 2023.
We want to see people renovate their homes to make sure that they're energy efficient, saving energy, but also saving them money not only on their taxes but their monthly bills.
The IRS says it's going to begin accepting 2023 tax returns on January 29th. Later in sports, it's a big night for college basketball right here in the four states. John's going to have highlights from a full slate of games. But first, the 2024 primaries have whittled the field down to just 3 GOP hopefuls. We'll have the latest. And despite
in America,
Despite the sub-freezing temperatures, presidential politics are heating up in New Hampshire just days away from next week's Republican primary. Christian Benavides has the latest.
Good evening! Ahead of next Tuesday's First in the Nation primary, the 3 Republican candidates for president came out swinging again in New Hampshire.
Donald Trump is running for his issues. Nikki's running for the donors' issues. I'm running for your issues and your family's issues, and solely to turn this country around.
We have to unify and focus all of our resources and energy and effort on defeating crooked Joe Biden, the worst president in the history of our country.
A federal judge in New York City threatened to have former President Trump barred from the courtroom for repeatedly speaking out during testimony from writer E. Jean Carroll. In the civil suit, she accuses Trump of defamation after she wrote that he sexually assaulted her in the 1990s. The former president remains the frontrunner after trouncing Florida Governor Ron DeSantis and former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley in Monday's Iowa caucuses.
The majority of Americans have said they don't want their options to be 2 80-year-olds for president. We've got to move past that.
On ABC's The View, Vice President Kamala Harris expressed her concerns over the possibility of a second Trump presidency.
The former president running for office openly saying that he promises to essentially be a dictator.
President Biden posted this fundraising video.
Our campaign is nurses and teachers versus extreme MAGA Republicans.
Mr. Biden says his campaign raised more than $1.5 million from grassroots donors after the Iowa caucuses. Christian Benavides, CBS News.
A senior DeSantis campaign official tells CBS News he's moving a majority of his campaign staff to South Carolina before the state's primary in late February. The Oklahoma Bureau of Investigation released an update to a shooting investigation in Miami. As you might recall, the Miami Police Department requested the OSBI to assist with a homicide investigation on the evening of January 5th. Agents have determined there was an altercation involving multiple people near 2nd Street and H Street in Miami. That incident, they say, led to the shooting death of 27-year-old Matthew Vincent LaCastro. Authorities have not made any arrests in that case. Joplin police are just now releasing information about a crash that happened last week, killing a pedestrian. It happened last Thursday at the intersection of East 32nd Street and South Finley Avenue. Police say a vehicle traveling west on 32nd Street hit a pedestrian crossing the street. That pedestrian, 59-year-old William Haskett III of Joplin, died of his injuries on Sunday. This was Joplin's second fatal vehicle pedestrian crash of the year. Dunweg authorities released an update to a stabbing at a bus stop last week. Last Thursday, Jasper County deputies responded to an assault call at the bus station in Dunweg. Deputies found an 18-year-old man from Broken Arrow, Oklahoma with severe injuries to his neck. The man was transported to a local hospital. He has since been released and is recovering. That case is still active, and detectives are asking the public for any information. We've had a bit of reprieve from the bitter cold today, but winter is far from over, at least for much of the country, and winter can be dangerous. One Presbyterian church in central Arkansas says its doors will stay open as long as the cold remains. Sarah Horbakowitz has the story.
Mayonnaise or mustard? Okay.
When the cold closed in on central Arkansas, doors opened at the First Presbyterian Church in Jacksonville, helping more people each day.
We started with 10 our first night, Friday night. Saturday and Sunday it went to 13, and now here we are. It was 23 last night.
Jacksonville Mayor Jeff Elmore says there's a lot more people using the center than in the past. That brings a bigger need for volunteers. So he put out a call on Facebook and got a huge response.
We've had people who've just shown up and said, hey, what can I do? Or can I go get something? What do you need? So, yeah, the residents of our city have stepped up in a big way.
And that includes Mayor Elmore. He's stuck around volunteering every day they've been open.
Getting to know everybody on a first-name basis. So it's been good. I've been glad I've been able to spend the time.
Going forward, the church plans to keep a bed and a hot meal ready.
So long as the temperature is unsafe for others to be outside, we're going to be open.
As they continue to help people from all across central Arkansas.
I feel like we're loving our neighbor, and so that's a good thing. Serving where the need is there, and it's definitely here at this time.
The National Weather Service in Arkansas urged drivers to be cautious as roads across that state were expected to remain snowy and ice covered through today. A little bit later, it wasn't just a big night for college basketball this evening. John has the highlights from some area high school games coming up in sports.
Plus, it's warmed up a bit for us today, but how long is that going to last? We're going to look at that coming up.
Prearranged.
Not bad for us today compared to what we have seen. Now, temperatures still below average for this time of the year, but we made it above freezing for the first time since last Thursday, which is pretty good news. All right, let's go outside. Here's a nice shot. Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. Indigo is just outside of Seneca, Missouri. Looks okay. We do have some clouds, which are kind of skirting through, and that's what we're going to see as we go through the overnight hours tonight. But temps near 30. We're not going to drop back as much either. We have a southerly wind, which is keeping our temperatures up just a little bit, but that southerly wind also makes it feel a little bit colder across the region. All right, look at our southeasterly winds, still at about 10, 15, 20 miles per hour. So what that's going to do is stick around tonight into tomorrow, kind of in that 10 to 20 range. But as our Arctic air returns, our wind gusts really pick up for us tomorrow night and then into Friday, and that's going to make it feel much, much colder than what it actually is. All right, outside right now, it feels like 23 in Stockton, Anderson, 24 Parsons, 24 Mount Vernon at about 22 degrees. And then our feels like temperatures are going to hang out near 30 once again for us tomorrow. But check this out. By the time we go into Friday morning, wind chill factors -10 to -15 again. We've been kind of used to it over the past several days, and then they hang out near 0 by the time we go into Friday. All right, some clouds shooting through. May see a random flurry or two as this wave shifts through. Here's our next wave, Montana and parts of Idaho. Again, doesn't have a lot of moisture with it, but look what it does. Watch the Arctic air. Surges south again by Friday into Saturday. So unfortunately, even though the Arctic air retreated, it's just not going to retreat for very long. All right, let's go through time for you tonight. We drop back near 20. Partly sunny tomorrow, mid-30s by noon. I think most of us will top out near 40 for an afternoon high. As we go through tomorrow evening, a couple little snow flurries or snow showers with that colder air working in. But look at our lows by Friday morning, down to about 8, 9 degrees. And then on Friday, high temps only into the upper teens And then check this out. By the time we go into Saturday morning, we plummet, actual temperature, 3, 4, 5 degrees. So it gets cold once again. Day planner for you Thursday, 24 at 7, 33 by 11, 38 by 3 p.m. We drop back to 31 by the time we head into the evening hours. All right, back into the 30s on Sunday, which is good news. But we do have our next storm system. You see this pink showing up. So this is Sunday night into Monday morning. This would be freezing rain and sleet. And then we would switch over to rain as we go through the daytime hours on Monday. So this is something we want to watch as we go through the next few days, as of course we don't want any ice across the region. 39 for us tomorrow, 19 on Friday, 21 Saturday, so cold. Back into the 30s Sunday and Monday, 40s, even 50s, pushing 60 by late next week.
Pushing 60.
I know, isn't that crazy?
It is, but
Yep.
I'll take it. Thanks, Doug.
Yep.
Liberal High School has showed off the art of some former students. The exhibit features the post-graduation work of several Liberal alumni. The art wasn't judged, no prizes were up for grabs. It was simply a chance to display the art. The showcase runs throughout the Tony Dubray tournament. Still ahead, highlights from tonight's MIAA battle between Washburn and Missouri Southern basketball. And Colgan faces Galena girls basketball in the semifinals of that classic tournament in Liberal. John Dales has those stories and more up next in sports.
Stickland & Stickland is the firm for you.
Stickland & Stickland. It's a slam dunk.
Missouri Southern women's basketball is the hottest team in the MIAA. Winners of 8 in a row entering this evening's contest at Washburn. Picking things up in the fourth quarter of that game. Lions in control really for the entire contest. Ryan Franklin down low. Little spot up jumper is good. It's 52-35 Southern. They kept it coming. Moran Myers dials it up from distance and hits. Washburn tries to claw back Aubrey Dewey straight to the rack. She gets the floater to drop. It's a 20-point game. A little later, Maya Davison muscling her way up to the bucket through the contact, but the Ichabods just could not catch up tonight. Brandy Hudson puts the finishing touches on this one with the inside jumper. The Lions take down Washburn 69-50. They've won 9 in a row. Now the men to follow. Washburn trying to stay undefeated at home. The big man Andrew Orr gets the game's first bucket with the mid-range jumper. On the other end, Vincent Sigmund Jr. from deep. He'd be 5 for 5 from downtown. 5-4 Lions at that point. The Ichabods respond though. Brady Christensen beats the shot clock to knock it down. Moments later, Braden Shorter from the top of the key pours it in. Ichabods leading at that point. Lions say not so fast. Darius Dawson lines up his own triple. That's good. 9-8 at that point, but Shorter gets the ball in the corner and hits another one. Then we'll end it right here off the steal. Michael Keegan gets the fast break going. He flies in for the one-handed jam. Washburn, a little bit too much for Missouri Southern to handle. The Lions fall 70-65. Pittsburgh State basketball also on the road in the MIAA this evening. Tough showing for the Gorilla women's team. They lose 71-59 to Emporia State in a game where they shot 3 of 20 from beyond the three-point arc. PSU has now lost 3 of its last 4 and is likely to fall out of the top 25 after this. Same results for the men's team. The Gorillas fall to the Hornets 70-61 on the road. 4 different players on Emporia State score double-figure points, including Solomon Aragbu, who finishes with a game-high 21. Max Alexander and reigning MIAA Player of the Week Marquis English combined for 31 in a losing effort. Over to high school basketball, the second round of the Tony Dubray Classic tips off at Liberal High School. In the girls bracket, we have a showdown between 2 of our local teams. Galena, after winning against Thomas Jefferson, taking on undefeated Colgan in the semifinals. Bulldogs striking first. From deep, That's Aristus Sturgis who knocks down the long ball, but the quick answer back on the inside from Colgan's Lily Brown. We hear more from her. It's 3-2 Bulldogs at that point. Later on in the first, Lily Brown back on the inside, fouled and add one more as well. Then diving into the lane between defenders, Riley Boyce scoops the layup for 2 more. Pass deflected here. Brown off to the races again. Defense into offense. It's 7-5 Colgan. And defense, well, it was what was on the menu tonight. Jacayla Davis gets the hand in the passing lane, takes off to build that lead. 2 more for Colgan. The Panthers coast to a victory 66-26. They'll play in the tournament championship on Saturday evening. Back to Missouri Southern women's basketball, though, 9 wins in a row. Top of the MIAA. We talked about it a little bit earlier, but with the roster turnover on this year's team, not a lot of people expected the Lions to be in the spot they're in.
Yeah, and look where they are. 9 straight and still a lot to play.
Yeah.
We'll be right back.
From the moment a 4-state hero.
Some kids in Joplin today took advantage of the warmer temperatures. They're finally able to get outside. Landreth Park provided the perfect launching pad for some sledding fun. The snow, sun, sizable hill proved to be the right combination for the whole family after being bitterly cold in recent days.
Yeah.
Snow, just like that, is disappearing
Pretty
now.
much gone, yeah. And we don't really have any in the forecast besides just a few flurries or a couple snow showers. But overall, 39 tomorrow. Arctic air does return Friday and Saturday. Rain chances next week.
Final sports note.
A couple more high school basketball tournaments getting started in the 4 states area tomorrow. At Frontenac, the 4 States Classic, and at Pittsburgh, the Bill Hanson Memorial Tournament. We'll be at both of those.
Very good. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget the morning show starts at 5 a.m. and let's make it a great tomorrow.